Welcome to sixth grade math. We're going to review last night's homework, which was page 340, 1 through 17, all the mid-chapter quiz review. Number 1, classes. Tyson's math class has 12 boys and 8 girls. What is the ratio of boys to girls? The first step is we need to set up the initial ratio, which is 12 boys to 8 girls. And then we need to simplify using the greatest common factor. So looking at 12 and 8, the greatest common factor is 4. So we can simplify down to 3 halves. Then we'll just state it. 3 boys to 2 girls. Number 2, sales. At a bake sale, 15 cookies and 4 brownies were sold. What is the ratio of cookies sold to brownies sold? So again, we need to state this in our initial ratio, which is going to be 15 cookies and over 40 brownies. And then we need to look for common factors. Well, 5 should be the greatest common factor here, so we can divide 15 by 5 and 40 by 5. We get 3 cookies to 8 brownies. We're going to write each rate as a unit rate. The thing to remember here is that we want the denominator to be 1. So if we put 171 miles in 3 hours into a ratio, we're going to get 171 miles over 3 hours. So we want to make 3 hours 1 hour so we can find out how many miles per hour. And to do that, the first thing we need to check is, can we divide the numerator and denominator by 3? So if we divide 3 by 3, we get 1. And if we divide 171 by 3, we get 57. So the unit rate is 57 miles in 1 hour. Number 4, find the unit rate for $15 for 3 pounds. So there's our ratio, $15 over 3 pounds. And again, we want to get the denominator to 1 pound. So we'll try to divide numerator and denominator by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So it's $5 per pound. Number 5, multiple choice. A hockey team made 4 of their 10 attempted goals. Which ratio compares the number of goals made to the number of goals attempted? So this is just another way of asking us to find a ratio. So we're going to create the initial ratio of 4 goals out of 10 attempts. And we need to find the greatest common factor, which in this case is 2. So we're going to divide 4 by 2 and 10 by 2. And we get 2 goals in 5 attempts, which is choice D. Okay, for exercises 6 and 7, use the ratio tables given to solve each problem. Number 6, money. Peyton spends $15 on lunch every week. At this rate, how much money will he spend in 5 weeks? So let's use method number 1 and find a pattern and extend it. So if we add 1 week, we get 2 weeks. We have to add $15 because it's $15 every week. So that gives us 30. If we add another week, we get 3 weeks. We add $15, 45. Add a 4th week, we add another $15, we get 60. And if we add a 5th week, which is already given in the table, we add another $15 and we get $75. Method 2 is multiply each quantity by the same number. Since 1 times 5 equals 5, we're going to multiply each quantity by 5. And we know 5 is a magic number because in the previous table, we had 1 week and then the table ended at 5 weeks. So if we multiply 1 times 5, we get 5, which is already stated in the table. and we can multiply 15 times 5 to get 75. So at the end of 75 weeks, at the end of 5 weeks, he spent $75. Number 7, dishes. Charlie washes 10 dishes in 8 minutes. At this rate, how long will it take her to wash 25 dishes? We have a table for us where she washes 10 dishes in 8 minutes. And then we have 25 at the end of the table, 25 dishes, and we have to figure out the number of minutes. There is no whole number by which you can multiply 10 to get 25, right? We could do 2.5, but we're looking for intervals here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards in order to go forwards. Hopefully you remember that from earlier in this chapter. So we're going to go from 10 to 5, and then we'll scale forward to 25. And how we're going to do that is we're going to divide 10 and 8 by a common factor that will get 10 to 5. So 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So we'll divide 8 by 2 to get 4. And then we have to figure out what times 5 equals 25, or how can we get from 5 to 25. And in this case, it's multiplication. So 5 times 5 is 25, and 4 times 5 is 20. It will take her 20 minutes to wash 25 dishes. Determine if the quantities in each pair of ratios or rates are proportional. Explain your reasoning and express each proportional relationship as a proportion. Number 8, $4 for 12 donuts or $9 for 36 donuts. So if we have the ratio $4 for 12 donuts, we can simplify that by finding the greatest common factor of the numerator and denominator. So 4 will go into 4 once, 4 will go into 12 3 times, so we end up with $1 for 3 donuts. Now if we look at $9 for 36 donuts, we can see that 9 will go into 9 once, and 9 will go into 36 4 times, which gives us a ratio of $1 for 4 donuts, and those are not equal. Number 9, 24 pages read in 8 minutes or 72 pages read in 24 minutes. So if we set up 24 pages in 8 minutes, we want to get this down to a unit rate of 1 minute. So we will, 8 is the greatest common factor of 8 and 24. So we can simplify and we will get 3 pages per minute. And if we look at 72 pages for 24 minutes, we want to get the minutes down to 1 minute, and we will, 24 is a factor of both 24 and 72, so we'll get 3 pages per minute, so those are equal. Number 10, 48 out of 64 students own cell phones, and 192 out of 258 students own cell phones. So we have 48 out of 64, and we need to find the greatest common factor of 48 and 64. That is 16. So 16 will go into 48 3 times, and 16 will go into 64 4 times. So the first ratio is 3 out of 4 students own cell phones. In the 192 students out of 258 students, the greatest common factor is 6. So 6 times 32 is 192. 6 times 43. I know I'm doing those fast, but you can freeze the video and do your math and check those. So then if we restate it, it's 32 students out of 43, and that's as much as we can simplify that. So those are not equal. Number 11, multiple choice. The ratio of brown tiles to tan tiles in a mosaic is 2 to 3. Which of these show the possible numbers of brown tiles and tan tiles in the mosaic? So let's look at F. We have 16 brown tiles, 24 tan tiles. We need to find the greatest common factor, which is 8. So we divide 16 by 8 to get 2, 24 by 8 to get 3, and we get 2 brown tiles to 3 tan tiles. So that one is equal to what we're looking for. We could possibly stop there, but let's look at the other options to see why they are not correct. G, we have 14 brown tiles and 20 tan tiles. Our greatest common factor here is 2. So if we divide 14 by 2, we get 7, and 20 by 2, we get 10, and that gives us a ratio of 7 brown tiles to 10 tan tiles. So we are not looking for that. That is not the ratio we are looking for. In H, if we look at 12 and 19, the greatest common factor is 1, so we cannot simplify that anymore. So that ratio is not equal to 2 to 3. And then J, we have 8 brown tiles and 9 tan tiles. And again, the greatest common factor here is 1. We cannot simplify that anymore, so that one is not equal. All right, solve each proportion. Number 12, x over 6 equals 12 over 18. Find a value for x so the fractions are equivalent. X over 6 and 12 over 18. So what we do know is 6 and 18 are related. We can multiply 6 times 3 to get 18, or divide 18 divided by 3 to get 6. So we need to divide 12 and 18 each by 3 to find the value of x. So 18 divided by 3 equals 6. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 4 over 6 equals 12 over 18. Since 12 divided by 3 equals 4, x equals 4. Number 13, 8 over 20 equals 30 over x. So we have a problem here, and that is the numerators 8 and 30 are not easily related by multiplication, and all that means is I can't multiply 8 times the whole number to get 30. So we're going to have to do this in 2 steps so that we can determine what the value of x is. So 8 over 20, we need to find the, we need to simplify 8 over 20, and we're going to do that by dividing 8 and 20 by the greatest common factors, which is 4. So 8 divided by 4 and 20 divided by 4 gives us 2/5. Now we need to get 2 up to 30, and we know that 2 times 15 equals 30. So we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 15. So 5 times 15, 2 times 15 gives us 30 over 75. Number 14, 3 over d equals 9 over 15. So we'll just set it up and ready to go. So we need to figure out how we can turn 9 into 3, and then we can figure out the value of d based on 15. So we know that 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So we're going to divide 15 by 3 to get 5, and x equals 5. And then number 15, 24 over 17 equals x over 6. So we have 24 over 72 and x over 6. And we can figure out what 6 is by dividing, what x is by dividing 72 by 12 to get 6. So then all we have to do is divide 24 by 12 to get 2. 16, multiple choice. Christina made 4 bracelets in 36 minutes. At this rate, how many bracelets would she make in 108 minutes? So we have 4 bracelets in 36 minutes, and we're trying to find out B bracelets in 108 minutes. So we need to figure out, can 36 go into 108 evenly? And it can. 36 times 3 equals 108. So multiply the numerator and denominator by 3, and we get 12 over 108. So the answer is C, 12. Christina would make 12 bracelets in 108 minutes. Number 17, activities. Suppose 8 out of 24 students in a classroom participate in after-school activities. At the same rate, predict how many students in a school of 960 can be expected to participate in after-school activities. So if we have 8 students out of 24 students, then we have X students out of 960 students. So we need to figure out if 24 will go into 960 evenly, and it will, 40 times. So if we multiply 24 times 40, we get 960. And if we multiply 8 times 40, we get 320 students. Okay, that's the end of the review of last night's homework. Tonight, you should just practice some of those types of problems again, go back through the chapter, pick out problems we didn't do, and be prepared to take a quiz tomorrow on all of this information.